This is going to be the worst January 30th ever. Well, it's almost here. At the time of recording this, tomorrow is going to be the closure of the Wii Shop Channel. So we have to go shopping one last time. We're just browsing. I have no Wii points. So, might as well just take a look at the shop. This little loading screen. Look at it go. Oh, God. Well, it's coming. I still don't know if it's going to close immediately on the 30th, or it's going to be open throughout the 30th, and that's going to be the final day. But I'm going to assume it's going to shut down like midnight on the 30th, or like around there. It's going to shut down on the 30th. But yeah, little recommended titles. Pokemon Rumble. I wouldn't recommend that. Zelda 2, Sonic 3, and Bit Trip Runner. The only 4 games you need. Then we have the Pokemon section. My Pokemon Ranch. I never downloaded this. This game looked... The logo looked so bad. Pokemon Snap. That's an interesting one because that's a virtual console release. And I think they went in and they altered it so then you could save your pictures to the Wii message board, which that's pretty cool. And then Pokemon Puzzle League. I love Puzzle League, but I've never played Pokemon Puzzle League. I don't think I have it. I tried to think about the N64 Pokemon games that I have. I have Snap, I think, but I don't have Puzzle League, and I love Puzzle League. A bit retro. Dick Dug's 600 Wii Point? That never came out in North America? What? Yeah. 600 Wii points for Dick Dug? What is going on here? That's odd. That's odd that was only on the Famicom. I think, what, did we get like Dig Dug 2 here, I think? World of Goo? I never bought the full version of World of Goo, which is unfortunate, but it's on Switch now, but it's not as good because the pointer controls are all based on the gyroscope of the Joy-Con, and that is a recipe for disaster. I mean, it works. It's not that great, though. Final Fantasy, My Life as a King, Gnomes, Bit Trip Fate, some demos here. Yeah. Start shopping. Let's see. Well, we gotta see the Wii channels. We saw the Wii channels. Man, I love me some Virtual Console. I love the category section because, I don't know, it just felt special to see all these system logos and see all the systems you could play on your Wii. There was originally Commodore 64 titles too. That's like, what? Commodore 64 titles? Like, that was weird, but I believe they all got taken off. So we got NES, SNES, N64, TurboGrafx, Genesis, Neo Geo, Master System, and Virtual Console Arcade, which this was an oddball one. Just pure arcade games. No longer did you have to settle with the NES port for a lot of these games, or the Genesis port, or whatever. So this is the real deal here. But I don't think the Virtual Console Arcade did that well. It came out fairly late in the Wii's life, or kind of late in the Wii's life. Let me see if there's anything. Nope. Okay. I think it came out later on in the Wii's life, and plus there wasn't like a ton of like amazing. Oh, they got Gapless. Gapless is like the super unknown successor to like Galaga and Galaxian and Galaga 88 and all that. Gapless is super fun. Okay, I'm sorry. Not the successor to Galaga 88, because it came out before Galaga 88. Yikes. Really dodged a bullet with the Gapless fans over there. But, yeah, Gapless is really cool. But Virtual Console Arcade came out a little later. It was one of the later additions to the Virtual Console. N64, definitely... It's definitely one of the less represented systems on the Virtual Console. With only like 20, 21. Mostly Nintendo released games. So you got 1080 Snowboarding. I mean, you got Bomberman Hero, Ogre Battle 64, one of the few RPGs. But Sin and Punishment was really cool. That was the first time it was available in North America. We didn't get Donkey Kong 64 though. We had to wait for the Wii U Virtual Console for that. And similarly, we didn't get Earthbound on the SNES Virtual Console. Which now, every single time Nintendo re-releases SNES games, they just sneeze out Earthbound. Like, it's not a big deal anymore. But it didn't get released on the North American or European Virtual Console. Man, I did download two Master System games. I think I downloaded Sonic 1 and Alex Kidd in Shinobi World, which this is a really, really interesting game. Got Dragon's Trap, that's awesome. But 500 Wii points, that's okay. 600. It was really cool to see the imports. But it was always really weird to me that the imports cost more, because like they didn't go in. For a lot of them, I'm not actually sure if they did translate some of them, but from what I remember, the vast majority of imports on the Wii Shop Channel were not translated at all. They were basically just the Japanese game on the North American Wii Shop, and that was it. And it cost 100 Wii points more. Which doesn't make much sense when you think about it, because they're not importing anything. It's literally a digital good. And also, they also didn't do anything to these ROMs. Like, it's literally, like, unchanged. So they cost $1 more just based on the fact that they never came out in North America. So that's a little weird. The only Japanese import I remember getting was Super Mario Brothers 2. The Lost Levels. The other famous one I remember was Rondo of Blood. That's like one of the easiest ways to play like a pure version of Rondo of Blood, because there was like the PSP re-release and stuff like that, but you know, that was translated and had, you know, some changes in it. The Wii Virtual Console version of Rondo of Blood was the exact same with a few little minor differences, I believe. But it's one of the most pure ways to play Rondo of Blood if you don't want to invest into a TurboGrafx CD or anything like that. Man. They had King's Knight? Load Runner? Man, I downloaded a ton of NES games. I don't think... Yeah, they didn't have Mega Man 6. Which is weird. Mighty Bomb Jack. Mach Rider. Huh. Mylon Secret Castle. They had like another game in the Mylon series that was an import on SNES, I think. Was it? Or it could have been on TurboGrafx since it was Hudson. But I think it was on Super Famicom. I think. We can check. Princess Tomato in the Salad Kingdom. What a riot. They did have a tobacco reference. Watch out. Renegade. That's me! Sky Kid. Was that? Yeah, that came out in North America. Star Soldier. There it is. That was cool because the only way that you could play the original Mario 2 was through Super Mario All-Stars, but through that you had, you know, the upgraded graphics and different physics, which was cool. You know, they weren't bad or anything, but it was definitely cool to get the original version in North America. Tecmo Bowl. I don't know what this is. Euphoria the Saga? Yeah, I don't know this NES game, but it never came out here, so I think that's completely fair. Xanac. Did they not have Yoshi's Cookie? I think I remember a Wii U Virtual Console game that never came out. Wii U, that is. A Wii U Virtual Console game that never came out was Yoshi's Cookie. I don't know why. But NES games actually look really nice on the Wii. On the Wii U, the Wii U Virtual Console had some problems. NES games and N64 games specifically looked like garbage. Like, they were too dark, they were a little blurry, and NES games on, like, the Switch or the NES Classic Edition, they look really nice. Like, they look incredibly sharp, but they look a little unnatural. Like, they look a little too sharp. I still think they look nice, and I think that's, like, the definitive way to play NES games in some cases. But, you know, I mean, like, if you want, like, an experience that feels more like you're playing on an original NES, I think, like, the Wii re-releases of these NES games felt a little more in line with, like, playing on an original Nintendo entertainment system. Just because, like, you know, the releases on Switch and the NES Classic Edition, they feel too good. Like, it looks a little, it just feels too much like an emulator, which it is. And the Wii the Wii Virtual Console is obviously an emulator, but they just feel a little more pure. I don't know. But the SNES releases, these were really good. The Donkey Kong game, did they? These obviously didn't. I think they were unlisted for a little bit. I don't know. That's it. That's the Milon game I was talking about. It did come out on Super Nintendo. Final Fantasy 2 and 3 and Mystic Quest. You got all the North American Final Fantasies. And Genghis Khan 2. Oh, we got the Kirby's. No X3 though. Nobunaga's. Yeah. Space Invaders. The original game. I think this release is kind of a ripoff here, because half the enjoyment of Space Invaders on Super Nintendo. Wait. I forget. I forget if the Space Invaders release. So, like, Space Invaders came out on the Game Boy, but it was like, it was upgraded if you put it in the Super Game Boy on the Super Nintendo. I forget if this had something. There was something going on here. I forget though. There was something going on there. Pack Attack. That's like an interesting puzzle game, but I can't play it for like more than 5 minutes because I get kind of bored. Shoot, but they have the Super Star Wars games. That's really interesting that those made it on the Wii Shop Channel. Super Ghouls and Ghosts. I get sick and tired, like, whenever they do like a old school game compilation, Capcom always just throws them Ghosts and Goblins or Ghouls and Ghosts. They always throw them this game. Legend of Mystical Ninja. Goemon. Vegas Stakes. That was compatible with the Super Nintendo mouse. And Wild Guns. Zombies Ate My Neighbors. It's great. Like I said, N64 was a little underrepresented. Mainly because there wasn't a ton of stuff to put on there. I think most of the games people remember from the N64, or at least most of the games that people remember from the N64 that aren't on this service already, were made by Rare. And Rare is, of course, chained up by Microsoft. I know both Microsoft and Nintendo, I think Nintendo. They were in talks about putting GoldenEye on both the Virtual Console or Xbox Live Arcade. I know Microsoft got kind of dipped their toes in like remaking it, kind of like what they did with Banjo-Kazooie and Tooie and Perfect Dark. And I think Reggie or somebody from Nintendo said, yeah, we would like GoldenEye on the Virtual Console. TurboGrafx, I did not buy. I don't think I did. I don't think I bought any TurboGrafx games. They were only $6. Wow. That's different. There it is. It was Rondo of Blood is $9. I assume it's super high up, not only because people wanted this game. This was like the main one people wanted, but also because it was on the CD. This game was not previously released on the TurboGrafx 16 in the Western Hemisphere. There may be non-essential material in the game that is unfamiliar to consumers, including foreign language audio and text. Yeah, that's what the majority, if not all, of the imports, they didn't change anything. They just, chew man foo. They just spat it onto the service. Yeah! Yeah! It's Street Fighter 1! Man. Did I say... Okay, I thought it said Double Dragons. It's kind of like Silent Hill and Silent Hills. They should do a reboot of Double Dragon called Double Dragons. Gradius 2. Yeah, I didn't get any TurboGrafx games, mainly because, you know, I think like most people who are not only, who were not only born in 1997, but live in North America, I did not have a lot of nostalgia for the TurboGrafx 16. Nor did I really know what it was back when I used the Wii Shop Channel. But bonk. Got bonk. Devil's Crush, yeah. Sega Genesis. I also did not get a lot of Sega Genesis games, mainly because I had like other compilations and stuff like that. So I had like the Sonic Mega Collection, and later on I had like Sonic's Ultimate Genesis Collection, which had basically almost all the Genesis games that I really wanted. I think when the service was announced to be closing, I did buy one Genesis game. I think it was Gunstar Heroes, which I love Gunstar Heroes. We got Alien Soldier. That's cool. We got Booger Man. Comic Zone is great. I just got that game for Genesis, like in an actual cart. I only played it through compilations, but I'm pretty stoked that I have a full cart of Comic Zone. Kid Chameleon. Mega Turrican, Monster World 4. Heard Musha is great. Puyo Puyo 2! They knew they couldn't sell this game in North America, so they put a fat bald man on the cover and called it Dr. Robotnik's Mean Bean Machine. They have all the Sonics. I do know Sonic 3 and Knuckles worked with lock-on. And then where was the Street Fighter game that I bought just for me to find out shockingly that nobody was playing online? Yeah, this one had online support. I don't know what it was like, but I did buy it just to see what it was like. And it's weird. They bring up like this menu at the start of it. I showed it in WiiWare 1, but they bring up this menu and they ask you, you know, do you want to play online? And if you do, it'll look for people. It's a little weird. Vector Man, but they don't have Vector Man 2. They have Virtual Fighter 2. Yeah. I did recently play, I think it was Wonder Boy Monster Lair? Is this like a... Let me see. Yeah, I think I did play that. Did play that recently. There we go. Neo Geo, very similar to the TurboGrafx. I did not have many experiences with the Neo Geo, but I have played a few Metal Slug games, and these are really cool. I also love Neo Turf Masters. Neo Turf Masters is great. Oh, and these are $9. Whew. But yeah, I mainly like Neo Turf Masters and Metal Slug. And that's about as far as my Neo Geo knowledge goes. But, you know, hey, if you like fighting games with years on the end of them, Neo Geo is the place to be. But Neo Geo is super cool. It just costs a lot of money, so it's a little difficult. It's a little difficult to get into, like physically, with you know, the AES and even the CD. I don't think the CD is as expensive as AES, but you know, it's still definitely up there. But yeah, ooh, what's on popular titles? Let's take a look. Well, can't say I'm surprised. So Mario 1, Mario 3, Zelda, Mario Kart 64, Pac-Man. I'm surprised that wasn't on Virtual Console Arcade. That just seems like a no-brainer, because like the NES version of Pac-Man is just like, what are you trying to fool there? Smash Brothers 1, Sonic on Master System. That's surprising that that's so far up there. Yeah, and Final Fantasy 1. Why is Final Fantasy 1 but not like Final Fantasy 2 or 3 super popular? That's odd. Why is Wario's Woods here? And what's the latest edition? Yeah, I do remember they did just like barf out a lot of Neo Geo games on the service super late in the Wii's life. I think even possibly like after the Wii U came out. Maybe. It could have been a little before the Wii U came out. Burger Time, was that the last NES game released on Wii Shop? And Prince of Persia. They had a ton of stuff. This is such a great collection of old school games. Like, they did such a good job just putting out basically anything and everything. And now it's like they're pulling teeth to even put out a baseball on NES. That was about it for Virtual Console. I mean, I already kind of know what's going on WiiWare. I've definitely, this ain't my first rodeo. Kind of wish I bought some other ones. I kind of wish I did get Contra and Gradius Rebirth. Those would have been... Oh, and Midnight Bowling might have been an interesting one to pick up. Oh yeah, that would have been a great time. Gameloft were the kings of kind of garbage, kind of not games. Man, search by publisher. Let's see what we got going on here. Let's see if there's any surprising ones. Let's see if Rockstar put out anything. Nicholas, I assume it's pronounced Nicholas. I originally said Nicholas, but I think Nicholas probably makes more sense. They only put out Cave Story. It's almost like this developer or this publisher just kind of like they did that and then they just started going crazy on the Switch. Like, people really only started talking about Nicholas a ton when the Switch came out, because they just started publishing a ton of indie games. Way Forward? What else did they put out on here? Okay. I knew they put out Lit, but then I was like, what was the other game that they put out? And it was the Lit demo. That's surprising that they only put out one game on WiiWare. Seems like this is their kind of thing. Bandai Namco. They did Mr. Driller and what else? Muscle March. How could I forget? That's embarrassing. Chalingo. Weren't they like the developers that like Cut the Rope? Dracula, Undead Awakening. What is going on here? It's a shooter. Oh, I think I remember this on... Was this an iPhone game? This might have been an iPhone game too. I think. See all the stuff Nintendo put out. Aquaspace and a bunch of art style games. Bonsai Barber, I'm kicking myself for not buying that. That would have been cool. Eco Shooter Plant 530. Yeah, I have no idea what this is. Especially, I think I'm more confused on what it is now that I've seen the screenshots because they're so small and I can't see them. Excite Bike World Rally, that was a decent return to Excite Bike. Fluidity. I got that as a Club Nintendo reward. Magnetica, Twist, Picture Book Games, Pop-Up Pursuit. Seems like an odd game for Nintendo to publish. Through Space, that was not worth 1,000 Wii points. You, Me, and the Cubes. Coming this summer. Good old Nintendo. They didn't put out a ton of like their traditional IPs. It was mainly like they put out a few Pokemons, WarioWare, DIY Showcase, Dr. Mario, and that was about it. Everything else was kind of like them doing experimental stuff, which is interesting. And Konami, the publisher of Ant Nation. Of course, there were the Wii channels. I know I already looked at that, but you know, we gotta see these again. Remember the old Check Me Out channel, the Nintendo channel? That was a fun time. Instead of putting out a patch, well, technically this was a patch, but because the Wii was not generally able to update games, Nintendo had to put out an entirely separate Skyward Sword save data update channel. And if you didn't have access to the internet, you could, I think you could mail your Wii system in for them to update like a game-breaking bug. If you have not played The Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword, you do not need to use this channel. Well, I think we're gonna have to download this. Why not, you know? Have one last romp, download something. This channel software is not a game. Look at him go. I didn't get Fire Mario. That's unfortunate. Oh no, he didn't do it!